He's doing fine right now.
He's fine. The only thing that would happen is if someone walked in, he'll freak out.
Well, I mean, if we're recording and the dog goes nuts, then it is what it is.
It is. He does this thing. If no one's here and you come home, he's dead silent and he hides.
Right.
If anyone is in the house and then someone else comes, he loses his shit and starts barking for like 5 minutes.
Well, hey Joe, I got some good news for you, and I got some bad news for you. What do you want first? I'm a bad news
We're
first
recording,
person.
aren't we?
Yes.
Why don't you ever tell me?
Because the charm of the whole thing.
I didn't have to talk about my dog's weird tendencies.
It's
also he's overweight. There, let's just do it all.
He's
very overweight.
He's a wide
little
dog.
Yeah, he's a furry like ball of cartilage just waddling through the house. He's a good dog though.
He does
sheds
look
like crazy.
He just keeps wanting me to pet him. I like that about dogs. Dogs that aren't too afraid to be like, "Hey, you're a stranger. I need some attention."
No, not at all.
And I'm going to get it from you.
No, he literally lives on compliments.
He is wide.
Yeah, he's fat as fuck, dude.
You could put an advertisement on his back.
All right, you know what? Now you're fat shaming. He's my dog. Okay. All right. All right. If I want to cut his portions in half and buy him an ab roller for his birthday, that's my business. You can't do that though.
They do not make ab rollers for dogs, so that's
what about like a shake weight? Do they have shake weights for dogs? I don't know why, honestly.
I don't even know. Oh,
the shake weight, the thing that turned into a porno.
Yeah. I saw. I think you did too. I saw Perfect Circle, and Maynard. One of the songs is his joke is he likes to take the shake weight and go, and he goes, "I'm gonna get some exercise while you guys are listening to this bridge," and he just does masturbating movements with the shake weight.
Who?
I love Maynard.
Side, let that go.
That's
Who
a great
saw
question.
someone do that? Like, this is an amazing workout tool. Did anyone just like look to the right? Did anyone else in the room like, should we tell him?
The thing about it is, and nobody could see that, like the motions you just made were so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, like I was jerking off 2 giants.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great point though. I highly
Did anyone just like look over like, should we? Does he know what that looks like?
Well, I actually remember like when somebody first realized, oh my God, this infomercial looks really bad, and they just put it all over YouTube.
It's probably why it's sold.
I am 100% positive that somebody saw the attractive, fit woman doing it. It was like, it's fucking hot. And there's like, we're gonna go with that.
Probably.
And that's where they stopped.
Yeah. Don't want to see a dude doing that.
No, goddamn, no.
Well, no, I'm sure someone does.
No, nobody does.
That's true. Guys just aren't.
Yeah. They're not. Men are not attractive.
Very ugly people.
That's like, I used to say this in college. I mean, this isn't a new thought, and I'm not the only person that ever. I totally understand how women find other women sexually attractive. I fucking get that.
Yeah. Men are
like
gross.
Artists, archaeologists, everybody through the dawn of time has been inspired by the female figure. Nobody is just like, you know what we need to do? You know, if I can do this. Well, there is that David statue.
Well, yeah, that's one. No one, I mean, there are painting sculptures like of multiple women at multiple times in life. No one has ever sculpted out of clay a 43-year-old man.
Curves and shapes that remind you of women are pleasing to look at. Nobody has lumpiness and goes, that's pretty awesome. Men are just lumps.
True.
Most of them anyway, except for Tom Cruise. I mean,
have you moved on from Paul Rudd? Have you graduated from Paul Rudd to Tom Cruise? What is it with you 40-plus-year-old men that are famous that only have one syllable in their first and last name?
I just watched a Tom Cruise movie.
Which
so
one?
Now, The Mummy. Have you seen it?
It's terrible.
It's awful.
It's so bad.
I couldn't believe how dumb it was.
It was really, really bad.
The Mummy was hot.
Yeah.
Even in like half decay, I was
I was still really, I'm like, let's see where this goes.
Right. So those bandages are just going to stay on the whole time, right?
What happens if those get wet?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not not a, actually, I don't want to say I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. He's been in some sweet movies.
He has.
You can't deny that dude's resume.
Right.
He's a wank for sure. And he's one of those dudes we've talked about, and we are going to actually do like an episode about this. People who have been famous for too long and the effect that it has on them. That guy, people like Madonna, Oprah, people like that, Prince, people just don't understand what real life is like. He's a prime example of that.
I don't know if you can say Prince and Oprah, though. Prince and Oprah.
Did you ever hear about Prince World? Okay. It's too... Well, honestly, we had something we were going to talk about today.
Well, and we will. We'll get to it.
Honestly, if I start on Prince World, it's going to go for a while.
All right, let's skip that.
We'll come back. We'll save that for the celebrity.
So, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh, that's right. I forgot you started that. Bad news, please.
The bad news is, and this is important for everybody who's listening that you hear this. We got a 1 rating on iTunes. A 1. Somebody gave us a 1 star.
Yeah, I don't see that as bad news because I know it's caked in jealousy.
I don't see it. I honestly don't mind the 1 star.
No,
the one literally doesn't bother me. The problem where it's a problem and why it's bad news is it's 1 out of 8 people who have given us a rating.
Yeah. And I'd actually rather have a comment. Give me some fucking feedback.
Exactly my point. Like, if you're going to give a 1, and I want to go on record as saying I listen to a lot of podcasts on iTunes, and I rarely ever rate. I'm going to beg everybody listening to this right now, please rate it. That's so important because
give me a comment. I'm genuinely curious.
If you're going to give a 1, tell me why it's a 1.
Yeah. And what is Patrick doing wrong?
You're right. I don't care. We just want to fix it. Or
I'm not gonna lie, if it's directed toward me, it's gonna hurt.
It wouldn't bother me in the least.
If it was directed at me, why would it?
Right. No, I mean, if it was directed
if it was
at me,
reversed?
Yeah. It honestly wouldn't bother me. I would actually kind of like that.
I would
just
call
like
for
some
it.
random...
I'd call up for it. Depending on, if I found that comment at 10 a.m., I'd be like, guys, emotionally, I'm not here today. I have to go home.
Have you ever listened to a podcast you didn't like?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever rate it?
No.
This is what I'm saying.
Well, it's like the thing I mentioned. It's like Yelp. I've never really... If I have a bad meal or a bad experience, I'm not like, all right, well, time to torch this place and try to bring it down.
Right.
I had a bad experience, man. I'm just going to move the fuck on.
Right.
But I've just never... But I know that that's a big thing. You and I, again, we're... That might be a generational thing, man.
Well, the thing about it to me is... Apple does such a bad job of giving you analytics on podcasts. There basically is none. And the only way we'll know how to get better is by ratings, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now I understand, after doing this, why people are always like, subscribe, rate. So I'm literally saying right now, and only 8 people have, I know more than 8 people listen to us, please rate us.
Yeah.
I don't, and it's a fucking 1. It's a fucking 1. I don't care. If it's a 5, it's a 5. It's awesome.
Actually, you know what? It looks worse that the only ones we have are 5 too.
I totally agree.
You know why?
Give me something fucking middle of the road, please.
I'm not talking about that. It's clearly, it was just us and our parents.
Yes! It was only 7 people.
Oh, cool. You got your sister to rate you a 5, dickhead.
Oh, so your girlfriend jumped down there and gave you a 5. Yes, she did.
Yeah, probably. She probably did.
Thank you very much, Renee.
You're the best, Renee. Also a marketing fiend. Can we even touch on you drunken marketing machine?
Oh, yeah.
You were great.
It was
awesome.
You did
some fucking work, man.
Pittsburgh, first off.
And we've talked about Pittsburgh before. I know it's closer to your heart, but I love that city. But go ahead.
It's a great city. And it is... look, I'm a Steelers fan, a Pirates fan, Pens fan. I don't apologize for that. But it was a lot of fun being there and, drinking and just talking to random people about this podcast. We picked up some followers from Pittsburgh. I love that.
Dude,
it's awesome.
Like 15 in 3 hours.
It was great.
I was day drinking too. I was just in a different city and I was doing nothing to help us. I'm sitting on this patio with my dog, and Carissa, my niece G was actually there too. And we're just drinking. I am not focused at all. I'm listening to what they're saying.
Right.
It's not helping us at all.
Yeah. Well,
and then you send me this text. I could tell by your text how drunk you were. And he was like, dude, check it out. And I'm like, how did we just get 20 followers in 3 hours?
Yeah, it was.
That's pretty awesome.
So this Saturday we're gonna do a we're gonna do a whoring ourselves tour in Cleveland.
Yeah, pretty excited
with our beer passports and some stickers and begging people to listen. So actually, people we talked to this Saturday, we're talking to you right now because if you're going to be listening to this, we'd like to thank you.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Because, right, it's going to go up Wednesday.
That's right.
They won't even know until we basically sell our souls.
We're talking to future friends right now.
That's exactly right.
Future friends.
Yes.
That's pretty exciting. What's the good news?
I honestly...
Oh, you just bad news, good news.
I think the good news was clearly somebody else that doesn't like us listened. Which means it's somebody who doesn't know us.
Yeah. No.
Well, I guess people that do know us could have rated us poorly, but that's not the point. The point is...
stay fucking friends.
Right? So please...
But now you know on iTunes, you can rate us poorly as friends and we'll never know.
That's right. And please, seriously, rate us. If you want to comment, that's fine. The ratings are important, though, because you get no help from Apple.
Nope. Let's get into it. I want to talk about this dingbat.
Okay, so the theme today is going to be about people liking people, sort of, right?
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
I want to talk about, what do they call her? Canadian Susan? Canada Susan? Susan Canada?
I don't know. I heard like Canadian Bridezilla. I've heard a lot of weird, but yeah, I think it's Canadian Susan is the one that.
Yeah, that is definitely something hashtagable, and people are going to know what it is.
Yeah,
like this.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
I mean, this is a little less than 2 weeks old, and I saw this.
I will. When you sent this to me, I thought it was from the fucking Onion. I was like, "There's no way."
That's great. No. That's a great lead-in because I think it's a prank.
Really?
I do, and I think it's a great fucking prank.
So I can see it being a prank, and then I can see it being real though. There's examples of people getting kind of, just completely duped about stuff like this all the time. It happens all the time, especially with the easy access to everything and the kind of like the tools you can use to actually do something like a hoax like this.
Right.
The flip side of that is that I actually meet people all the time who think like this woman, maybe not to this degree and to the extreme in which she did and how delusional again, if it's real, the level of delusion that this person was living with or probably still is living with is thinking that there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. I think, and you and I, oddly enough, about completely different topics, this week I've been talking about people who have done shitty things and the people who understand it, see it, own up to it, and the people who are completely oblivious as to why people think it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think, because reading, again, I'm operating right now with this segment, this part of the podcast, under the assumption that this is real. And if this is real, and this woman does think this way, I'm really scared. Like that there is someone out there with that little self-awareness and who truly, whatever, world is flat, world is round. No, it's not. It's centered around this woman.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. She's the fucking middle of it.
So I'm actually going to read this whole thing because I wouldn't if I didn't think it was worth it, but it's astounding. Absolutely worth it. So at the end of the day, what this is about...
While you read that too. Do you want one?
Yeah, that'd be great. So at the end of the day, what this is about is a woman in Canada, and she and her fiance wanted to have like the dream wedding, which I understand people do that. So shit goes fucking downhill for them big time. So I'm gonna read
right after. Right after the dream wedding decision, it was just one decision and everything just went bad from there.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. So I'm going to read this, and if anybody's heard of this, you just laugh along because it is really that funny. So...
Or hit us up because we're definitely going to post about this. And again, right now we're operating on the assumption this is true.
Absolutely. Yes. I think it's... I
think you're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a very viable option that this is not true and it's a hoax.
Right.
It is.
And I think it's a great fucking hoax.
It's fucking hilarious.
Because it's made national news. Yeah.
Like, I wanted to meet this person if it was true. I really want to meet him if it's false.
But let's as we're going through this, I'm with you 100%.
Right now we're saying it's true.
Yeah. All right. Dear friends. By the way, I also want to point out that she did this clearly from her cell phone. Oh, actually, I take that back. Maybe the person that took the screenshot took it from their cell phone.
Okay.
Fuck, whatever. Because this isn't short. Dear friends, it comes with great sadness that I'm announcing the cancellation of the blank wedding. I apologize for canceling only 4 days beforehand. Unfortunately, blank and I have broken up due to some recent and irreparable problems. We have decided to end our relationship and not go forth with any future proceedings. Okay, some backstory.
I'm really trying hard to not interrupt every time you say a sentence, because every sentence I have 4 comments.
I think there's going to be. Sure. Believe me, further we get into this,
stay out of it until you're done.
The further we get into this, it gets appropriate. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but just for some backstory, like this girl and this boy had known each other since they were 14 years old, and were together all through high school, solidly. She says it in here. And ended up having a child together when they were in their, I think, 20 or something like that, right? So 6 years together to have a kid, clearly way too young for that. And I'm not judging, I'm just saying that that's young. You've only been voting for 2 years.
I'm judging. You two are whores.
Well,
sorry. No, that's actually, you said they were 20? So, okay, yeah, you're right. So they've been together about 6 years.
So, again, they've been together since they were 14. We have decided to end our relationship and not go forth with any future proceedings. However, we are remaining civil and are still a team for our son. Good for them. After hours of tears, mental exhaustion, and even disassociation, I have come to this decision. In 1 hour after posting this status, I'm going to delete my Facebook. Social media has caused me only paranoia and toxicity. By the way, this is... Please, go ahead.
Okay. I think we were probably about to say close to the same thing. So that's the thing that kind of makes it difficult to believe, because there's no way to track this. However, a lot of times when people do something this stupid that goes viral, they are forced, because they get bombarded with messages and people fucking with them and making fun of them and shitting on them. So again, it's middle of the road. I understand both if this is real or not, because again, it's real. Let's say it's real. I mean, the first thing I would have done is try to find this person on Instagram and be like, hey man, you're probably catching a lot of shit right now, but I got to tell you, we have a very, 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 very small podcast that influences dozens of people twice a month. And we're definitely going to talk about you. So thank you for all you've done.
So I'm actually glad you brought that up, because this was the first clue. I was like, okay, this is why it's a fake. So like, I think this person like got them and a handful of other people together. It's like, hey, let's fire this up. Let's do this thing. And I love it. If that's what it is, I love it.
Could be. And just as an example, as something where the person's forced. So there was a girl, maybe. Honestly, it wasn't. I hate that I don't know this. When was the Boston bombing around? Do you remember?
Oh Christ! Why would you put me on the spot, you asshole?
I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be the only one who didn't know an important date. I don't know. A couple of years ago, either way, about a year after the Boston bombing for Halloween, this girl decided to be a Boston bombing victim.
That's not even funny.
No, it's not at all. So she took a picture. She was a young girl. She doesn't know any better. Well,
she should.
That's not a good excuse. She was a young girl and she's stupid. You know, that young kids can do dumb shit all the time, especially with social media. She posted it online, got a ton of shit, rightfully so, and she was forced to delete all of her stuff because she was getting just bombarded with messages. That's what I mean by when someone does something like this and is not aware of how dumb and shitty it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they get all the messages, then they're like, oh God, I have to delete. I can't have an outlet for these people.
And I understand that. All right. So anyhow, now keep in mind, we just read that this relationship just fell apart and they have a son and they're going to team up.
I can't believe it didn't work.
This is what she writes. I will be spending these next 2 months backpacking in South America, exploring my soul and ridding myself of toxic energy brought on by my friends and family, the ones who I thought I could trust the most. She's fucking leaving the country for 2 months. She has a kid with this dude.
Wait a minute. Have we even said why she's even typing this?
No, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Which now is another like,
anybody
is this real?
And right, exactly. That was another clue.
That leads more into the is this real?
Right.
Like you're going to take off for 2 months? Who's paying for that?
Hence, I will be out of the country for all of October and November. By the way, she's still around. This didn't happen until end of August. So, assuming this is real, she's still in
right,
Canada this month, but she's prepping for a backpacking trip.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of goddamn time if you're going to South America. See what I'm saying? Like, all right. Please don't contact me.
Well, we can't.
When this is the first time I love this. When I'm ready, I may make a new Facebook and add friends, family that haven't fucking stabbed me in the back.
This one's such
when
an asshole.
I'm ready.
If she's real,
yeah,
she's an asshole. If she's fake, I kind of dig her.
All right. So now you asked a question, Joe.
Yes.
Have we talked about why this all happened? Well, as she writes, how did this all come crashing down?
Sorry, I should have waited. I told you it's going to be hard to not interject. Good.
All right. Well, I invite you all on Facebook, players, bystanders, and side characters of the people in my life, to take a seat and listen. You're all involved somehow. Somehow everyone is wrapped into this mess. Even if you weren't invited to my wedding, I don't care.
Yeah.
You might hear of the drama, and I'd rather you hear it from me. I'm not asking for sympathy. I just want to tell my story. All right, everyone, fucking brace yourselves. Before I begin this mini novel, I invite all of you, including the cunts who have ruined my marriage and life, to put yourself in my shoes.
I do love that she called everyone a cunt. I don't know why, I just do. It's funny. It's a word that we're not allowed to use, but it does make me laugh every time I hear it.
Are you ready for this next sentence?
Yeah.
For once, let me take the stage and let me voice the most painful few months of my life. Let me tell you something.
So we've already established this person's white.
Yeah, right, for sure.
This is definitely a white person.
And we get more clues of that in a minute here.
Okay.
First, things were a fairy tale. I met the love of my life at 14. We were both young, but somehow we just knew we were meant to be. We worked on my family's farm together, and with each warm summer spent in the fields, our love grew deeper and deeper.
Fuck.
Fast forward to high school. We went strong all 4 years.
That's good.
He put a ring on my finger when I was 18.
Yeah, he did.
Worth nearly $5,000.
American dollars.
We'd put everything on the line for each other. Everything. We both chose to attend the same community college and work full-time in order to build our dream.
Oh, their love is pure.
We spent most of our days by each other's sides.
As they should.
I will always be thankful for that.
As will I.
Fast forward a few years, I was 20.
Oh my gosh.
I realized I was pregnant with my first.
It wasn't your fault.
Fast forward a few years, I was 20. I realized I was pregnant with my first. What do you think that was
So
like?
it took her a couple of years to realize she was pregnant?
The way she writes that. She had this realization. Like, she was sitting around, like, I picture this
I'm
girl-
getting fat as fuck.
Right? I picture her sitting around, like, getting, like, morning sickness and being like, oh my God, I'm pregnant! Like, having this
That
realization.
realization?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That, like a realization?
Yeah.
Is a realization taking a pregnancy test or exactly what you just did?
I think a
hope it's
realization
you
what
just
I did. A realization is what I
We're
did.
like, why am I throwing up every morning?
Taking a pregnancy test and finding out is...
That's not a realization. That's just proof.
That's correct. It's proving it.
Well, please continue with this fairy tale. This fairy tale of love.
You got it.
Okay.
We were elated, tearful, and thankful to God for this gift.
We're all thankful.
After giving birth to... I knew I had to do it because this kid doesn't deserve to have his name out there.
His name is Gary.
Okay. I'm gonna take a few steps back and take another running stab at this.
Okay.
We were elated, tearful, and thankful to God for this gift. After giving birth to Gary, I knew the next step would be to focus on my career and become financially stable.
Oh my God, you're so powerful.
My ex did the same.
He's powerful.
We saved and saved. I was in love. I was happy. And I was looking forward to life.
We all are.
We continued working and even got our degree.
It's never been done.
We even got our degree! What's the percentage of the population that has their degrees? That's a serious question. I honestly don't know. I bet you it's still not 50%.
No, probably not.
We even got it! It was hard.
Do you wonder what their degrees were in?
I love, matter of fact, I'm glad you said that because here's what she wrote. Listen to what she wrote. We continued working and even got our degree. Not degrees. Like he has.
Oh, they got a joint degree.
Yes.
Okay.
And what? I don't know.
So together they both probably combined forces and credits and got a degree in general studies from.
And by the way,
Tech State.
this is another reason why, to me, this whole thing's a hoax. They've literally done everything together. They have not in any way, shape, or form gone, according to this little bit we've read, in any separate direction. She didn't graduate a semester ahead of him, vice versa, whatever. And maybe they did. I don't know.
They're high school sweethearts.
It was hard, yes, but so blissfully worth it.
You're so strong.
Okay. We managed to save up nearly $15,000 for wedding.
Savings accounts are important.
Since our love was like a fairy tale,
Love is important.
we wanted an extravagant blowout wedding, one where our son could be included.
That's Gary.
No, fuck her already. Gary can be involved. You don't have to have a blowout wedding for Gary to be involved.
At this point, how old is Gary? Does he even remember this shit?
He's not. He's not.
He's like 2. He ain't making memories.
We started touring venues and we're torn between two.
Tours are difficult.
Here we fucking go,
Yes,
my friend. You ready?
Right.
A local psychic told us to go with the more expensive option.
All right, they lost me. This is a fucking hoax. I'm sorry. Until I actually meet her, this is a bullshit story. They went to a fucking psychic?
A local psychic told us to go with the more expensive option. Of course she did.
Really?
And we thought, why the hell not?
Because it was a psychic, dumbass.
They even went to the psychic together. These two do everything together. I hate them.
Well, they're a team. They're a team.
Oh, well, you know what?
They're a couple with a beautiful son named Gary. They've saved so much money. They together pulled their credits together to come up with 1 degree.
Right.
What are they going to do? All of a sudden break off? No. I'll handle the psychic, sweetie. You go do your own thing.
You know what? You bring up a great point, Joe. Of everybody here, I'm the only one divorced, which literally just happened. It was the greatest fucking day ever.
Everyone here? So between
You're not
me,
divorced.
You, and
the dog.
Roscoe.
Oh, and the 2 people we're talking about here, they didn't even make it to the altar. Good for them. This shit would have ended badly anyway.
I can't wait to do your divorce cast.
Yeah, that's coming.
Fuck yeah.
Our dream wedding amounted to $60,000, all included with. No, by the way, you know, let me. I'm going to take another running jump at this.
Okay.
Our dream wedding amounted to $60,000, all included with flights to Aruba. All we asked for was a little help from our friends and family to make it happen.
That's the key phrase, a little help. Now, let's see what Canadian Susan thinks equates into a little... What is the monetary value of a little help?
Well, we already know. They saved 15. They needed 60. $45,000 is where they needed a little help.
I've never, and I think you have too, and I've been to a ton. I've never really understood why somebody wants to spend $45,000 on a wedding. $60,000, 20, 30, 50, nothing really. Granted, I am somebody that would never do that, never has done that. My wedding was, I don't know, $85. I don't know.
$85.
I went to a courthouse.
In another state.
Yeah, I mean, we turned it into a trip.
I understand.
Do you want to go through all this bullshit, or we just went to New York, party for 4 days, got married, just have fucking fun, man?
I think.
And you know what? It was still stressful. It was.
Oh, really?
Fuck yeah, man. It still kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Not so. I don't mean that at all.
No, I know what you mean.
What I mean is like the getting ready, all that. It still kind of sucked.
Yeah.
You know, the day was stressful. I'm just like, I can't imagine if I had to pretend to like another 150, 200 people, which I don't.
Right.
I'm going to be straight about that. I don't like 150, 200 people. I can't name 150, 200 people.
Right.
But I don't know. That's just me. I know other people do that and they like it, and that's fine. I've never understood that. Like, so, I mean, can you imagine what you can do with $45,000?
Oh my God, dude. My wedding, I think was $5,000-$6,000. right?
Yeah.
And that's just the way.
And I
doesn't include
honestly,
booze.
no.
You were at my wedding.
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? I was just like, actually, the number actually surprises me. Like, that's crazy because it was in a cool little hall. There was a decent amount of people there. Everybody was having fun, booze, food. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, what is everyone doing here? Like, and I've told this to you before. I know we're getting off topic, but I mean, like, I don't understand why people don't. I don't know, man. Spend it on, like, if you want to have $20,000, like, for a wedding, honeymoon, whatever. In my opinion, 70% of that should go toward the fun part, not the fucking stressful part.
Right.
Weddings are not an investment. Well, you know that better than anyone.
I was just about to say.
I mean, it's just, that's just me. But if people want to do that, go ahead. But I don't know. That's where it gets kind of fun.
No, you're right. Shall we continue?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, let me get through this because I'm going to try to do this as she's written it. You ready?
Yeah.
I mean specifically.
Did she really say it twice?
Yes.
No fucking shit.
Allow me to...
Sorry.
No. Did I say let me get through this?
You did. You did earlier.
I'm not going to ad-lib any of this shit. So, I mean specifically asked for cash gifts. I fucking hate this girl. How could we have our wedding that we dreamed of without proper funding?
You know, the one thing that I keep coming back to is she keeps saying that we dreamed of, and yet I haven't seen his Facebook post.
Believe me, dude, you're going to find out in this post that it really wasn't we.
Which is really sad because they've known each other since they were 14. They're a team. They have 1 degree.
Yeah. So how could we have our wedding? Yeah, I went through that, right?
Oh, I thought you were being emotional there. You were actually sounding out the words.
No, I was trying to figure out where I left off.
I really thought you were just trying to add something to the way that you were reading it.
No.
You actually were just struggling with a word.
No, I was trying to figure out where it was.
It's okay, man. Just sound it out.
All right. Well, hey, these 3-letter words can get tough.
Yup.
We'd sacrificed so much and only asked each guest for around $1,500.
$1,500. They basically said we want a lot of you to forfeit 1 month's mortgage.
Do you have your phone? What's $45,000 divided by 1,500? Somebody's done this already in their heads right now.
Well, yeah. Well, some people are nerds. All right, 45,000. I'm just going to do it in my head. 30.
Can you imagine? That way doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I'm going to do that in my head.
Yeah, again. Do that again.
30?
Okay. No, that actually does make sense. It actually does make sense. Imagine going to
zero. Oh, yeah.
30 people you know and asking them all for $1,500.
I don't know 30 people who would give me $1,500 if I was dying.
Right.
Especially not if I just wanted to have a party.
30 people. That's how exclusive this is. It's only 30 people. I don't know. Get more friends.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which is easier said than done. I have almost none.
And only asked each guest for around $1,500. We talked to a few people who even promised us more to make our dream come true. My maid of honor, who shall not be named, pledged. She pledged.
It's a fundraiser? Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. $5,000 along with her planning services. We tearfully thanked and accepted. My ex's family offered to contribute $3,000. So our request for $1,500 for all other guests was not fucking out of the ordinary.
I think it's a matter of opinion. Oh.
What happened?
You spit on me.
It's impossible.
No, it's not. I just saw it happen.
It's impossible.
It's impossible that you spit on me?
I'm across the table. There are 2 windscreens and 2 microphones between us. And you're like, this is the JFK thing from Seinfeld. Because you're touching your left shoulder.
I'm going to find that fucking spit.
You find that. Because it's not possible.
I'm going to find that.
It's not possible.
It's very possible.
That's one magic loogie.
It wasn't a loogie.
All right. Here's the first problem I have with this statement. If your maid of honor said, "Hey, I'm going to give you $5," and your in-laws, what are you looking for?
The
Spittle?
There's spit right here on the thing.
That's from you. That's on your side of the windscreen.
Oh, fuck yourself.
Allow me. You have your calculator handy?
Yeah, I'll just do it in my head.
All right. Her maid of honor said, I'm going to give you $5,000.
Oh.
Her in-laws said $3,000. That is now $8,000 off that remaining $45,000 that they don't need. So it's $45,000 minus 8.
$37,000.
Divided by 30.
Well, wait, but do you have to subtract those people too?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's either 28 or 30 people. Just do it by 28 then. Because she clearly included her wedding party.
Right. In-laws would be 1. Yeah, so divide by 28.
These are just buttons.
I'm doing it in my head. No one knows I'm doing it.
I fucked that up.
$6,600. I'm going to do that again.
Yeah, that isn't right.
Divided by 28. 1321.
Okay. Immediately, she could have...
way more doable.
way more acceptable. But my point is, she could have gone back to everybody, and she didn't, and said, hey, look, we had 2 generous offers. It's not going to be $1,500. It's going to be $1,300. I'm not saying that that's acceptable.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But she didn't even try that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's going to pocket the rest.
Like we made it clear, if you couldn't contribute, you weren't invited to our exclusive wedding. It's a once-in-a-lifetime party.
In a way, she's right. Because, I mean, have you ever paid $1,500 to never see someone again? In a way, you're right. Because I can't think of anyone's ever done this before.
But, no, I understand that. But, like...
I'm just joking. She's a bitch.
No. But I understand what your point is. Like, but what she's missing, and this is why I think this is a hoax, is this is a trip to Aruba. So this $1,500 includes everybody's airfare, right? If you couldn't contribute, you weren't invited. No. They were invited. They couldn't make it.
Or didn't want to.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime party. Well, throw a party in your barn, bitch. So we sent out...
That I would go to.
I would too.
I've been to barn weddings, and they're fucking great.
So we sent out RSVPs, and only 8 people replied and sent us the check.
Fuck off! They know 8 people that did this?
I'm assuming one was the in-laws, and I'm assuming one was the maid of honor, right?
They know 6 other people that did this? That's amazing to me.
I agree.
I would be hard-pressed to bum $50 from 6 people.
I agree completely. That's why I think this is fake.
Yeah, honestly, they kind of lost me at the psychic.
Are you ready for this? Okay, so we sent out the RSVPs and only 8 people replied and sent us the check. We were fucking livid.
Why? You just made like...
How was this supposed to happen without a little help from our friends? To make matters worse, my ex's family took back their offer.
Oh, this is turning into a lie.
Do you really want to be a part of that family? I mean, come on. They offered you $3,000 and said, forget it.
No, I would never be a part of that family.
Perhaps it's because they were pissed off that you only got our 8 RSVPs and were mad about that.
You know what? It sounds like these people were just dealt a bad hand. It's not really their fault.
Suddenly, more people backed out. Shocking.
Weird. Including
the cunt maid of honor. My best friend since childhood. My second family.
See, now, to me, this is what confirms that this is not a real story. So, the maid of honor already pledged $5,000. Why would she take it back?
Well, I think at this point, assuming it's real, I think at this point she was like, this wedding's never going to happen. I'm not going to give you $5,000.
But if you're pledging $5,000 already and you're fine to part with it, why not?
I'm assuming she didn't have $5,000. Let's not forget. I think they're about 20. In their early 20s. When I was 20, I didn't have just $5,000 laying around.
I barely have it now.
This is what I'm saying. Like, she probably didn't have it.
But how can you pledge $5,000 if you don't have it?
Stupidity? Being young?
I guess, maybe.
Thinking you're going to work some overtime at the Gap? Maybe you get a second at Bed Bath & Beyond? Or Bath and Body Works.
You're really driving home that these are white people.
They are. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah, this is a white thing to do.
So her maid of honor takes the money back, right? Takes her pledge back. I was so shocked and tearful. To make matters worse, how can it get worse at this point? To make matters worse, it was only a month before the Gary
took his pledge away. I don't want to go.
Right. To make matters worse, it was only a month before the wedding. To cancel everything would have been more than $5,000. Desperately, we resent our invites and asked people to donate what they could.
They doubled down?
They doubled down. Yes, they did.
Hope this time they at least sent just an Evite. It's cheaper.
Actually, there's no way this shit is real. How do you resend invitations?
No. I think this is bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, people, what is $1,000? What is $1,500?
It's too hard for me to understand that there is someone out there that actually has this little self-awareness, even in today's climate. That's why I think this is kind of horseshit.
Now we just want to keep reading it.
Yeah, please keep. Oh, no, don't stop reading it.
Clearly not a lot. It would have been quite manageable and within budget. I've heard of people asking for worse.
Who?
Right.
Who the fuck? Who are you hanging out with that's asked for worse?
No. I love the fact that she is so in tune with everyone else's budgets.
That she knows everything. Fuck this. It's okay. And here's kind of my other reason why this is people that grow up, whatever, have a child at 20. I'm not saying everybody, of course, it's not a blanket statement, but some of them are a little bit more in tune with their situation, and they're maybe harder workers, or because they know that like had a kid young, kind of got to buckle down and shit. That's why it's really hard for me to understand that this person still lives in, I don't know, the Hamptons in her mind,
right? And
I don't know, man. I think this story's bullshit.
Yeah,
I think we just did an entire podcast on a story that's not real.
Yeah,
that's the fun.
Yeah. Wait, should we just stop?
I don't know. How much more is left?
I mean, enough. I really don't want to stop.
Well, because keep going, man.
I so badly want to pretend that this is real.
You know, we haven't taken a break either.
No, I don't think we need to.
No, I don't either. It's just we've never.
I do want to order some pizza though.
Okay. Well, it'll be about $1,500.
We also set up a GoFundMe.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, but I also want you to know.
This is a fucking great hoax. There's no way this is real, man. It can't be. Can we find the GoFundMe?
Well, I'm glid you asked that because Snopes looked into this and can't find.
It's not real. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, we've wasted so much time.
Did we?
Oh no. It's quite frankly because when this comes out that this is bullshit, we're definitely going to revisit. I'm going to praise this motherfucker as just an absolute genius because even this like mildly like the completely unself-aware poetic post that this person is putting out there. It's just, I can't believe there's someone. I just can't. And this is coming from. I understand that there are people out there that do think this way, but there are people that they've been brought up this way, like they've lived this way. This is like that super sweet 16 bullshit that was on MTV where everyone's an asshole. Like, why did you give me a white Mercedes? I wanted a red one. Right, like that. I can't see it. I just can't.
No, I agree. We also set up a GoFundMe.
Go fuck yourself.
We set up a go fuck ourselves. That only got us $250. At this point, we were exhausted.
Now, at that point,
tired.
I hope it's real. That they set up a GoFundMe for $60,000 and got $250.
I yelled at my ex. I became unraveled. I realized my dream wedding was becoming a nightmare. Now, then she writes this. Then it got worse. Now, this is where...
Worse than being $58,000 short of your goal?
It gets worse. Listen. If this girl is real, if by some minute chance that this is real, this dude saved himself a lifetime of misery and shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Are you ready for this? My ex came into the room and offered to get a Vegas wedding done. I laughed in his face, but he was dead serious. He wanted those cheap, raggedy, filthy, whore-like Vegas weddings. I mean, what the fuck? Was he out of his mind? Am I some hooch piece of fucking trash? A hooker?
You are.
Am I supposed to like the idea of getting married in the heart of shady gamblers, alcoholics, and get-rich-fast fallacy? Suddenly, my body began to shake as I entered a panic attack.
Nah.
No.
There ain't no fucking way this is real.
No.
There's no way this is real.
My ex left the room and didn't apologize for his horrid suggestion.
What an asshole.
You bastard.
Fuck you, Gary's dad.
Gary's gonna grow
Gary
up
Senior.
with a dad like that. Somebody practical.
The dad who likes whore like rags and depravity.
Whose dad wants to go to Vegas.
No fucking way this is real.
Then I called my maid of honor and cried my eyes out. Instead of sympathy, I was told that I was asking for way too much and I should stick to my budget.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought the bride, the maid of honor was out of the picture because she withdrew her $5,000 pledge.
Yeah, but
Now
there's
she's
no
shoulder to cry on?
there's no way of knowing that this is actually in order of time.
Okay, all right, maybe.
Hard to say.
Sure.
Hard to say. But I mean that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Because she does say then things got worse.
Yeah.
Well, in all honest, maybe she didn't call her ex-maid of honor a cunt before this message went out on Facebook.
That's true. We don't know the cunt timeline.
Yeah. Fucking...
No fucking way this is real.
I called my maid of honor in sympathy. I was told, stick to my budget. Yeah, your maid of honor is semi-practical. She may be a liar and she may be dumb.
And a cunt.
But she's semi-practical. I mean, no words can describe. How could someone who offered me thousands of fucking dollars then deny me my promised money and then tell me to shift down my budget?
No, but she actually just did it. It is in order. How could she?
No, you're right.
Pull it back. Now she's a shoulder to cry.
Who is this bitch to fucking tell somebody to fuck off and she's a cunt and then go and cry on her shoulder?
That's what I mean. That's the other part of it's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
There's no way this is real.
She knows my fucking dream was a blowout wedding.
You need other dreams.
I just wanted to be a Kardashian for a day and then live my life like normal.
Okay, first of all, Kardashians spent way more than $60,000 on all 12 of their fucking weddings. There's no way that they're walking around with $60,000 on them.
Yeah. Well,
whatever. I mean, that's white trash $60,000.
She wanted to be a Kardashian for a day, and how dare everybody ruin her dream?
Man, inject my
I
butt.
called her a fucking poor excuse of a friend and hung up. Look, you can burn bridges in life like this. There's no rebuilding that. Ever.
Also strange. We know people who've burned a lot of bridges this week.
Exactly.
Really funny.
It's a theme.
They were dealt a bad hand, though.
Yeah. If you're going to be dealt a bad hand, make the most of it.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
Then she blocked me off all social media. Rumors swirled.
See, that's where I would draw the goddamn line. Don't you ever block me on Twitter, right. You son of a bitch. You want to take away the $5,000 that you fucking promised me? You want to tell me to be within my budget? Fine, I can probably get over that. But don't you dare unfollow me on fucking Instagram, you whore.
You're right, Joe. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line.
Rumors swirled.
As they should.
I received anonymous threats.
It wasn't anonymous. I put my name down.
My ex stayed out later. And later. And I have a feeling he even cheated. Well, let me tell you something. If you're listening to this podcast, which is highly unlikely because you're in South America.
Not yet.
Well, she's prepping. I'm glad he cheated on her. If he's been with her since he was 14 and he was stuck to this mega bitch, fucking dude, move on.
Well, maybe she didn't hit mega bitch till like 10 years later, though.
Well,
do you know anyone that's actually been together since like grade school or high school?
You know what? Oddly enough, I did know one couple.
I only know one, and one that's in there they're a couple from high school. Yeah, they date. I didn't date most of high school, but they met in high school and stayed together. I do know one guy who met his girlfriend in 4th grade, or met his wife in 4th grade. It did not end well. They
in 4th grade?
Dude, well, I mean, no. Yeah, 5th grade was really awkward after they broke up. No, they met in 4th grade, stayed together, got married, had like fucking 6 kids, and it ended real bad.
I know a couple that did meet each other in high school, got married, and I'm pretty sure within the last 2 years, shit went south bad.
Really?
Yeah, real bad.
I guess it can work. I guess it can't. But I don't know. I literally know one couple where that's worked for in high school.
I'm not surprised this dude cheated on her. And if it took him this long to cheat on her, he's an idiot too. My bridesmaids climbed on the boat with my maid of honor and dissed me. They essentially told me I was crazy.
I, for some reason, thought there was an actual boat here.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a poor
on the boat
analogy.
that we rented. Yeah.
They essentially told me I was crazy. They asked for their deposit back, so I said, fuck you. I refuse to give it back until they can pay me back for their emotional distress.
How much is emotional distress?
Clearly $1,500 per person that caused it to you.
That's good to know. I've had a couple of bad days, so I just need to know. I just need to know what to charge people.
Do you need to buy that little thing for the top of your iPhone?
Yeah, I do.
Where people just swipe their cards through it?
Hey, dude, I didn't really like the comment you made in that meeting the other day. That's $11.
Right. My ex started to talk to my maid of honor and gossip about me behind my back. That's who he's fucking. Yeah. I overheard him talking in the basement when he called me a stuck-up bitch. Well, you are.
Well, let's hear his side.
Right. Anyway, I am exhausted. I am bone tired. My heart is not the same.
You ain't bone tired. He's boning someone else. See what I did? And crash and burn. Let's move on.
My heart is not the same. It's stone cold, fragmented, empty.
Might have been before.
I need to get away from this awful society.
Oh, go to South America. It's really good there.
Yeah, right. How hard would it have been to fucking donate, friends? Do I matter to you? Just fucking give me money for my wedding.
It can't be. I'm sorry,
man. There's no way
this is real.
There's no way.
I hope it is because it's hilarious. But there's no fucking way this is real.
When I see this bitch on, like, Dr. Phil, then I'll finally believe
Agreed.
it. That's what it's going to take.
But I just can't accept it. It doesn't make any sense.
I won't even sugarcoat. I won't even pretend that it's not what I wanted. It was for a dream. I was stabbed, cheated on, and wrecked. Goodbye. See you in 2 months. Friendly reminder to you cunts.
Now that's why I hope it's real. That she finishes it off like this.
She doesn't seem to understand that you can't say that to people. She doesn't get it.
I think you can. I think if you're a woman, you can. Or British.
What's it got to do with being British?
Oh, British? That's like a slang term. Like they use it all the time.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, that's a real... I'm dead fucking serious.
Okay. Yeah. I believe you. I'm not going to fight you on that. I just mean that, like, it's weird to me that she says friendly reminder to you cunts.
I think that's the greatest sentence in this entire thing.
Don't think you own me. I'm cutting all of you snakes off. I am living my life alone now.
What about Gary?
This is what I'm saying.
It's not real, man. This isn't.
She clearly doesn't give a shit about Gary.
Gary doesn't have a bank account. She can't expect him to.
She's about to take off to South America for 2 fucking months to backpack. With who? I don't know. If she's going by herself, she's sadly mistaken that that's going to turn out well. She's not going to come back to her own son. There's no way this shit's real.
Not real.
I'm living my life alone now.
How long have we spent on this not real thing?
You don't even want to know.
Okay, for a long time.
I only let in those I believe have good intentions, hugs and kisses. That's it.
Nah, this ain't fucking real.
There's no way.
No fucking way this is real.
For a lot of reasons. If it turns out that this is, it's a shame that she has a kid. And I mean that sincerely. Because that kid is going to grow up with that woman as his role model.
Not if dad steps in. Hey, okay, but it's a different topic.
I mean, just like, how can that kid grow up with the parameters in his brain of normalcy when his own mom...
He's an asshole. just thinks like an asshole.
Right. I don't know. Well, that's Canadian Susan or Canada Susan Canada. I don't know which, but that bitch is fucking.
I'm going with
crazy.
not real. I'm going with not real. It can't be. But like you said, when I see this nut job on fucking Dr. Phil, then I'll be like, all right, she's real. And we'll do an apology cast. I just don't think this is real. It can't be.
Not only will I do an apology cast, I'll ask her to marry me.
I'll chip in $1,500. I'm like, I'll give you $1,500 to marry my friend. But not in Vegas. I'll give you $1,500 to marry my friend in North Olmsted.
Right. And the only reason I'm going to marry her is to divorce her so that she could write one of these things about me. My dream. I met my dream guy after having been on Dr. Phil.
Well, if you do want to go that route, you should definitely get a prenup to protect your hundreds of dollars.
You know what? That's actually it's a great point.
Yep.
Yeah, this shit's not real. Snopes can't confirm it. No one can find these accounts.
Yeah, if they can't find the GoFundMe, I think it's bullshit.
And Snopes, I'm pretty sure that they put a lot of effort into finding out.
Fuck yeah! Why would you want to try to find this person? It's hilarious. It's funny.
Yeah,
but no, I don't think it's real.
All right. Well, I mean, we spent.
Yeah.
Well, no, please.
No, I was just gonna kind of wrap up. I was just saying, I'll say I don't think it's real. But it is a very funny story.
It is funny.
Hoax, real, it's a great story.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great story for a couple reasons. One, because it's just brilliant if it is a hoax. If it's real, I think it's just another drop in the bucket of the bullshit that you kind of come across every now and again with younger people in general, things going viral, things catching on, people thinking that is a normal way to think. Because even though this is, of course, very, very extreme, like when you're talking about the non-self-aware shithead spectrum, this is obviously really, really far to one side, but there are so many examples of things like this. Like we can talk about...
Oh, you're so right.
I mean, you can talk about the woman I sent you the article, the woman that got mad because the airline called her Miss instead of Doctor. You have like...
Wait a second. I didn't read that. I know you sent me a link, but I didn't read it.
Oh, the woman went fucking crazy on Twitter because it was a... God, it might have been Canada too. No, Australia. It was Australia.
Okay.
She got really mad at a certain airline and tweeted about like, hey, I didn't spend 8 years in fucking undergrad and this in med school to be called Miss. I'm called Doctor.
By whom?
Apparently her patients, but she expects everyone to refer to her as Doctor.
Who the airline?
The flight attendant.
The flight attendant.
The flight attendant didn't call her a doctor, called her Miss.
So the flight attendant who has no idea if she's a doctor or...
So she said that the doctor is on the ticket, which that kind of threw me off. Like, they do that?
I don't think they do.
Oh. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start telling people I'm a doctor just so I can have that on my ticket if that's real.
Maybe they do if you are a doctor.
Either
so
fucking way. But that's kind of my point. That's another example. You're running into more stories like that where people are just... They're just not aware of how fucking unbelievably stupid they sound because they think they're entitled to some stranger who has no fucking idea what you are or even cares what you are to refer to you in the title and the manner and that you wish to.
That's entirely appropriate.
Yes.
I mean, for all this flight attendant news...
You need somebody that you don't know that you're going to interact with maybe, I don't know, and 15 minutes on an hour and a half or 2 hour flight. You need them to call you by the certain title to help you get through the day. But I mean, that's what I mean, though. That's another example of that. Like, there are people like that do exist that you're running into more and more that are they're just devoid of self-awareness.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what it is.
I've flown a lot. And when I walk on the airplane... Those flight attendants, and they're always right there in the galley, I think it's a galley right there. It doesn't really matter what it's called.
Lobby.
It's not a lobby. When they're standing right outside that door, they don't know what I am. I could be a police officer. I could be a bagger at a grocery store. They have no idea. I don't present them my ticket that shows my title on it.
And even if it did, I don't give a shit. Call me Joe.
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, that's what I'm talking about in terms of like...
Yeah.
Why you can maybe this is true because there are people like this all the time.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like that's some fucked up shit.
Yeah, it is.
That's some fucked up shit.
But anyway, whatever.
Whatever.
Real or not, it's a funny fucking story. We got to have some fun with it. The like Patrick mentioned in the beginning, like us or not, give us a rating on iTunes. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram. Shout out to Dorsey for being our Michigan fan base. Found that out today.
Right on, man.
I went to school with. He's a
That's awesome.
Good dude.
Now, I will admit I'm sort of like...
You're bummed.
Yeah.
You thought it was a stranger.
I did.
Yeah.
And the mystery's over. Like, that was kind of like... It was always kind of fun. Like,
well, we still have Minnesota. We still have...
Now, at this point, I have a problem with Dorsey not spreading the word in Michigan. And that's not fair. I don't know this gentleman.
No.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah,
but
he's a good
now
dude.
I just think he's a prick for not spreading the word.
Jesus Christ. No. So you're trying to lose the one Michigan listener that we actually have? Doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm sure he'll tell someone someday. But I feel like you are also devoid of self-awareness. Anyway, Dorsey, 50% of this podcast really endorses you, so thank you very much.
No, I was kidding, obviously.
No, I know. But yeah, so I don't know. That's it for this, man.
All right. Well, can you just get some goddamn...
I know.
All right, well, let's go get some